This is the larger of the two SIP compound sliding mitre saws, and this one features a 2000 watt motor, which is more than adequate for any of the cuts you're going to be doing. And a nice feature is the motor is actually set back from the blade, being on a belt drive, so that it gives us the maximum depth of the cut of over 100 millimeters. The blade supplied is a 40-tooth tungsten carbide tip blade, which again, for longevity, will last a significantly long time, whether cutting man-made or natural timbers. The blade is always guarded, but it's always recommended on finishing a cut to let the blade stop fully before lifting the saw. The saw also features a laser, enabling lining up to the cut. The saw can be used as a traditional chop saw, whether at 90 degrees or any angle through to 45 degrees to the left or right. It can also be used as a sliding compound mitre saw, giving a maximum width of cut of 340 millimeters. The saw can also be tilted through to preset angles or anywhere between, enabling compound cuts to be easily made. The blade runs at 4,500 RPM, and as mentioned, the belt drive means that the motor is mounted well away from the blade, giving the maximum depth of cut possible with the 305mm tungsten carbide tipped blade. The saw also features hold downs which enable the work to be held in place, enabling you to take your hands away so they're nowhere near the cutting edge. Additional side supports also support wider or larger pieces of timber away from the main chassis of the saw. Dust extraction is via the supplied dust bag, which mounts to the rear of the saw. Alternatively, it can be connected to a vacuum source to remove the dust at source. We've got the saw mounted on SIP's universal saw stand, which makes it an ideal working height. It also means we can put an SIP dust collector underneath it, giving us easy access to the on-off switch for extraction when using the saw. The stand also features roller guides that give additional support to the workpiece and can be extended out, giving a very wide area of hold. Half-lap joints can easily be cut on the compound sliding mitre saw, but a sacrificial piece of timber does need to be placed against the fence initially to overcome the curvature of the saw when the blade is lifted. Tenons can also be very easily cut using the saw by formation of a very simple jig to act as a stop and a sacrificial fence. This leaves lovely smooth tenons and perfectly centred in your stock.